National Library Books. Hi, I'm Gary Lovisi, and this time we're going to take a look at an interesting short-run group of Sleaze paperbacks published by the same outfit that published Saber, Tropic, Vega books, all the A-Day, different companies and imprints. National Library had 10 books published, and they were numbered on the spine, number 100 to 109. And there's some interesting things in this series, and that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at them now. The first one, number 100, from 1964, is Lost on Twilight Road by James Colton. Now, the interesting thing about this, I'm going to read the blurb here. The lemonade was spiked. The woman was near naked. It was taking unfair advantage of Lonnie because he hadn't wanted her advances, but it was another of the many episodes which caused him to become lost on Twilight Road. So this is 1960, what did I say, 1964, yeah. This is an early gay paperback by a gay author, and it's actually a pseudonym of Joseph Hansen, who wrote the Dave Banstetter award-winning crime novels in the, I guess in the 80s and 90s. So this is his first book. It's quite rare, quite hard to find, and quite pricey. That's the first book in the National Library series. The next one was Red Light Wives by Wanda Lane. And with the second book in the series, they had the National Library logo. It's kind of, they didn't know what to do with this imprint when they started it. So they had the National Library, the numbers and everything on the side, but they didn't kind of know, and with the distinctive yellow spine, but they didn't kind of get it straight until the second book when they had the logo to add to it to make it sound kind of more distinctive. The third book is The Pleasure Seeker by Arnold Malmer. Now, Arnold Malmer is not a pseudonym. That's the author's real name. He was a author who wrote a lot of different material in different genres in the 50s and 60s and 70s. He wrote for me, for Hard Boiled Magazine. He wrote original crime stories in Hard Boiled Magazine. He wrote Sleaze books for various of the companies, and he wrote for Manhunt, crime stories in Manhunt. He lived in Queens with his wife, and I kind of knew them through the mail. We corresponded, and she would send me stories of his. Said, "Hey, Arnold wrote this story, and here's a story that he wrote years ago. That would you like to reprint it?" I said, "Absolutely." And he was a good writer and a really nice gentleman. And she was always saying, "And then he wrote an original one for you," and he wrote some original ones, crime stories, and he was very good. His Manhunt crime stories are excellent, and he just wrote a lot of crime and sleaze books, and he was a good author and a fine interesting person, and that was his real name. So it wasn't a pseudonym. Some of these are under pseudonyms, like the James Colton book. The other names I'm not sure about. The next one is number 10. This is 100, 101, 102. This is 103. Is So Wild the Fawn by Roberta Everhart. Next one is her third one by Frank Eager. And you can see on the back covers, they use the same art, but just like with a little square to show to have a little something written about what the book is about. And you can see the National Library logo prominently displayed on the cover. The next one is The Healer by Roy Danton. And the next one is number 106, Abnormals Anonymous by Stella Gray. This is an interesting book. First of all, it was actually used by a friend of mine for the name of one of his bands, and for an album or a CD cover, they use this art just because it's like gender bending and it's kind of cute and funny. You see the woman with the cigar, the guy sitting down knitting. So it's a kind of a gender bending kind of cover art. I haven't read the book, so I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it's Abnormals Anonymous, so who can tell? The next one, or the next two, are by Jack Vast. One is Lust Can't Hide, and the next one is 108 is Wrong Kind of Love. And Jack Vast is a pseudonym of Rick Davis. Now, Rick Davis was a person who I did an extensive article written in Paperback Parade. I believe it was number 85 or 86, about him and his writing career. He wrote Sleaze and was pretty popular writer in that genre. He worked in he was a poet in Richmond, Virginia, and he worked in a adult bookstore in Richmond, Virginia. And in the late 60s, he was murdered, and it's still an unsolved crime to this day. So Jack Vast, Rick Davis, was an author who wrote a lot of Sleaze books. He wrote under Jack Vast, and then probably other pseudonyms as well, but we're not sure which those may be. But he was murdered, and the crime has been unsolved to this day. And the last one in the series is Want Ad Wantons by Drew Palmer. And that is the short-run series of National Library books. I hope you enjoyed this look at them. Maybe a couple of things you didn't know about the series. It's nice because it's a short-run series, and you would think it's easy to collect because it's only 10 books, but these books are pretty hard to find. The first one, the James Colton Lost on Twilight Road, is quite scarce and quite expensive. And the other books are also tough. They're very collectible, and they're pretty cool, interesting. I hope you like this book at it. Look at this series of books, and if you did, give us a thumbs up and a like, and see you next time. Thank you.